We are back with another episode of the FiveM framework. This time we're going to be working on events. You can see that we have a little bit more in our folder. This is actually a server now. And we're going to go into events, so it's going to hold all of our functions and such like that. So we're going to start with client side, and we'll get client side 100% finished. Oops, CL events, my bad. Before we move on to the server. So in here, we're going to have mp dot functions equals. So what it's going to equal? It's actually going to equal mp dot functions, or just basically nil, which is just open brackets, so open table. And we're going to have a couple of these. So we're going to just paste these down a little bit, and we're going to rename them. So we're going to have mp request id. And we're going to have server callback. This one's a little different. We're going to copy one more down. And we're going to have this equal this. And this is going to be server callbacks. And then it will just fill out that table. And then we're going to have a current request ID. So current request ID. And this is simply just going to equal 0. And what this does is it allows us to call mp dot functions or dot whatever. So we can use that to call this. So in here, we're gonna have a function mp dot functions dot get key. And what is this? This is a function. And it's going to require a key. Now, I do have this text pulled up, so I'm just going to copy and paste this. Basically, it just grabs all the keys that are associated with a key press, and it just names them correctly. And then in here, we're going to simply return keys. So local key, so we're returning this, and then whichever key is pressed, or that we're grabbing. And that's going to be the first one done. So we could use this for an example. If we need them to press a certain key, we could request this, and then the key that they need to press, and if they did it, congrats, you know? So now we're going to have mp-function, dot functions dot get player data. So this function, we are getting the source basically, and why we're doing that is to get all data from bin for the player. So this is so the player has all their data returned onto them client side. mp dot player, and we're going to call that mp dot player data. And in there we could end. So we can call we're going to call this basically when the player selects who they are playing as in the character menu. So now we're going to have so some admin types here. So we're going to have, I don't know why I keep typing JC because it's my old framework, but mp.functions.delete vehicle. And obviously it's going to do as it says, which is delete a vehicle. So we're going to pass vehicle through this, and how we're going to do this, we're going to set entity as mission entity. Oh my god. And we're going to pass vehicle and then false and then true. and then delete vehicle, and then whoops, vehicle, and then we're gonna end this off right here. So this allows us to call this and just delete a vehicle depending on how we're passing the vehicle through here. Now, obviously, we're gonna have something to grab this. So mp.functions get vehicle direction equals function, and we're just gonna pass nothing through this right now. So now we're gonna have a bunch of locals. So local civ equals player ped, oh my god, ped ID, and that's gonna grab us our source local. We'll do civ chords equals get entity chords, and we will pass in civ through this. And now we'll do local in direction equals get offset from entity in world chords. Oh my god, what a big one, am I right? Oh, Jesus. And how are we going to do this? We're going to do civ 0, 10, 0. I believe. Yes. And now we got to grab the local array handle. And this is to get where you're basically looking at. So, or start shape test array. And it's going to be player chords, so civ chords. And then in direction 10 for the length, civ for who it is, 0. And now we got to see if it hits. So we're going to have a bunch of interesting. So we'll have num array handle hit end chord, end chords, surface, normal, and entity hit. Jesus. And this is get shape test result. Result. And it's gonna be array handle, which is perfect. So now we have to have a little if statement here, and what this is doing. So if hit equals 1, and get entity type is entity hit equals 2, then just making sure that it is a vehicle. So entity hit, and it is hit, and it's basically a vehicle. It will grab that and it will return entity hit and return nil, because we don't need anything, and we'll just end that here. So that allows us to get the vehicle in direction now, which is a perfect. Okay. Now we're going to have to do some callbacks. Obviously, this is in order, but we'll add callbacks here, which these are relatively sort of easy. So mp.functions right there, and .trigger server callback equals function, my god, name callback, and then mp.server callbacks, and in here we'll do mp.current request ID equal to callback, and if that happens, then we will trigger a server event, which is going to be mp-base server and trigger server callback. And we'll grab name and mp-.current request ID, and then we will put in anything else that will come with it. And when that happens, we will do a loop here. So if mp.current request ID less than, let's just put a number here, then we will do mp.current request, current request ID equals mp dot, oh my god, capitalized dot current request ID plus 1, and it'll eventually add up to that. If it doesn't, or else, then we will just reset the current back to 0. And then we end, and just like that. Now we're going to do a get players function. So mp.functions get players equals function, boom, and we'll end that right there. And we'll do local max player equals 120. Let's just put that to 120. Just in case you want to expand, I do 120. Local players equals this. Oops. Didn't need to close that bracket. And then for I equals 0 max player, comma 1, do local pet. We'll do local civ, I guess, equals get player head and -1 because, oh my bad, I passing through I. And then if does entity exist civ, then table.insert players, comma I. That just makes the player enter that and return players. Perfect. Just like so. Okay, I'm guessing I'm gonna have to do client side events in one video and then server side in the other, but not a big deal. Okay, so callbacks is done for mostly that. We could put the register events now. So register net event, and that's going to be mp-base client server callback. And once again, we'll copy this because we got to add event handler. The same thing, but obviously function, and then it's going to be request ID. I think we'll do that, and dot, and this because we don't need that anymore. And now we'll do mp.current. Oh my god, back that up. This is not right. Function. There we go. I knew I was messing something up. So mp.server callbacks, and then we will request this ID and pass through this, and then we will do the same thing with mp.server callbacks, and then request ID equals nil. Let me just space that out so it looks a little better. And that's perfect. So that's done with callbacks. So now we're gonna have I guess we can go back to admin and just add a couple more things here, which is gonna be mp.functions.delete object, which is a function that we're gonna get pass object through, and we're gonna end here. And it's sort of the same as the vehicle. So we set entity mission, and instead of delete vehicle, it's just delete object, and we'll pass through obj, and then that's perfectly done. And now We're going to do one more thing, which is get closest player. Yes. So mp dot, do we need this actually? Yeah, we do. Functions dot get closest player equals function and chords. We're going to pass through that. So we're going to end this, obviously. Going to make sure it has an end. And what we're going to do through here, local players equals mp dot functions dot get players, just like that. Local closest distance equals -1. Local closest player equals -1. Local chords equals chords. Obviously, we're passing through chords. Local use player ped equals false. Local player ped. I mean, I guess we could do, actually, let's do local civ equals player ped ID, which is the normal function to get source. Local civ ID equals player ID, just like that. And now, if chords equals nil, then use player ped equals true, and chords equals get entity chords. And what we're going to pass through here is civ, and we're going to end that. So now we have chords. And now we do for I equals 1, comma, # players, which is the number of players, 1, do, no way, do, buddy, just do. Okay, local target equals get player ped, and we'll do players I. So we'll grab that player that is closest, and then if not, use player ped, or use player ped and players I not equal to player ID. Then what we will do, I'm going to scroll down just so you guys could see once again. We're going to do local target chords equals get entity chords, and then target, and then local distance equals get distance between chords, target chords, and then chords. I think this should work. If this doesn't work, we'll have to do this, but I think I'm just going to do this anyways, just so there's no messing up. And then we'll pass through true as well, just so we have no issues. Now we'll do if closest distance equals -1, or closest distance is greater than regular distance, then closest player will now equal players dot I, which is hoping that the closest player is in one of here. Players, my bad, messed that up. And then closest distance will now equals distance and now we return closest player as well as closest distance. And now we can call that. We're going to put other down here, and And then believe this should be it for client-side events that we will basically need. But just a quick one. So we're going to register a net event, and we're going to add an event handler. Now, obviously, these are basically going to have the same exact name. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to call this mp-set character data. And obviously down here, comma function, and we're going to pass through here is player, and what we're going to do is p-data equals player. Crazy how that one works. And that's going to be it. Definitely longer. Don't want to do server side. Server side will come out very soon compared to this one. So stay tuned for that. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Hop in the Discord if you have any questions, need any help, wondering what's going to go on, a suggestion for the framework. Obviously, this is going to be fully built and released in segments. But thanks for watching. Make sure you leave a like, and I hope you enjoyed.